I've been on the hunt for the perfect monitor that can basically just do everything. So I did have a minimum list of requirements, a very specific set of requirements. It had to be 28 to 32 inches in size. It has to be 4K. It has to do a minimum of 120 Hertz. It has to be able to do power delivery over USB-C. It also, of course, has to be reasonably priced. I wanted to make sure that it was below $1,000 and was actually available to buy. After a ton of research, the one monitor that I found was from Philips of all brands. It's a 32-inch 4K 144Hz monitor that matches all of the requirements that I set out earlier. In the box, you'll find the monitor stand and the cables. Thankfully, it does include a HDMI 2.1 cable, a DisplayPort cable, and a USB-C cable. Then of course you have the monitor itself. The stand for this is actually pretty incredible. It's very, very heavy and I think is pretty smart looking. It's also very easy to put the monitor and the stand together, not requiring any tools like screwdrivers or anything like that. There is no external power brick. It's all integrated in the back of the monitor. There are an absolute ton of connections on the back. You have one DisplayPort, 3 HDMI ports, headphone jack, USB-C port and a built-in USB hub. The design of the monitor is fairly simple. It's not particularly thin, but it does the job. And the front of the monitor does actually have fairly small bezels, but there is a chin. I like the overall design. Again, it doesn't have a super gamey look. I think it looks smart and minimal, which I much prefer. When it comes to the specs of this monitor, it's of course 32 inches at 4K, like I mentioned earlier. It's 144 Hz. It supports variable refresh rate, which is ideal for both PS5 and Xbox. I was able to connect my MacBook with the USB-C cable provided in the box and it worked right away. It delivers 65 watts of power over USB-C, so you can have a one cable setup with something like a MacBook. Overall, a very seamless experience. Not having to mess around with any settings, it just works right away.